Welcome to Gunsmoke Theater. I'm Dennis Daly. Very few radio or television programs had such an impact on their medium that they changed everything. One of those shows was Gunsmoke. Yes, it ran 20 years on television, but the TV show was a child of the radio show, which itself ran nearly a decade. Sit back now for the next hour as we go back into the archives and play some of those great episodes of the show that changed everything, Gunsmoke. Remember how the first early episodes of Gunsmoke were difficult to listen to, if for no other reason than the character of Doc was just kind of nasty. He was in it for the money. Well, by the late spring of 1955, Howard McNear's character had blossomed into a great, wonderful kind of person you'd like to do lunch with. So here now, from 1955, as we move along, looking at Gunsmoke, one of those great episodes in which the character of Doc really shines.
Gunsmoke, brought to you by L&M Filters. This is it. L&M is best, stands out from all the rest. Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad, the transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America, and the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man, Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful and a little lonely.
Hey, Mr. Dillon, look who I got with me.
Well, hello, Kitty. Come on in.
I ran into Chester on the street, Matt. He insisted I come along with him.
Well, I'm glad he did.
I mailed them letters and things to the depot, Mr. Dillon.
No, good, Chester.
I took that circular over to Mr. Hightower. He'll print some up in a couple of days.
Oh, good.
That's all you want me to do, ain't it?
Yeah, that's all.
Ain't nothing else you need. I mean, not right now.
No, nothing else.
Everything's pretty well took care of, ain't it?
Yeah, everything's fine, Chester, yeah. Mm-hmm. Except for that buzzing in your head.
My head?
Come on, what is it, Chester? Just speak it right out.
Well, thing is, I run into this friend of mine a few minutes ago. I ain't seen him in years. I knowed him a long time ago, way back in the Army.
Oh?
You know how it is.
Well, go on.
Well, see, he's stationed out at Fort Dodge, right here, only 5 miles away. My, just imagine that.
Chester, I got an idea.
Yes, sir.
Look, why don't you ride out and see your friend, huh? Now, you can stay a couple of days if you want. There's nothing for you to do around here.
Well, you think that'd be a good idea?
Well, it's my idea, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it sure is. Well, I better get going then. No use wasting time, is it?
Bye, Chester.
Bye, Miss Kitty. I'll be back in a day or two, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah, well, you have a good time, Chester, and leave the door open. It's awful hot in here.
Yes, sir, I will. Goodbye. Let's see.
So that's why he wanted you here,
Oh,
huh?
I guess he thought it might help. But he forgot to mention something.
No, what's that?
This dear old friend of his has got a pretty interesting job in the Army.
Yeah, is that so?
Yeah. He's a mess sergeant.
A mess sergeant?
Yeah.
Well, after a couple of days of that, I'll have to go after Chester with a wagon.
You may never see him again.
Yeah.
Marshal Dillon,
Ah, come on in, son.
I'm looking for Doc.
Well, his office is right next door.
I've been there. I've been everywhere.
Oh, you need him bad?
I was sent to fetch him.
Somebody sick?
My pa told me to bring him out to our place.
Well, is it your pa who's sick?
He wants the Doc bad, Marshal.
Well, who is your pa, son?
Ben Pitcher.
You been Pitcher's boy?
My name's Jerry.
Oh, Jerry, your pa must be pretty sick if he sent for Doc.
I know. He hates doctors. Don't believe in them. But he wants Doc to come, Marshal. He told me I had to find him. Now, I've looked everywhere.
Well, there's a back room at the Dodge house, Jerry. Doc sometimes plays a little poker in there.
Oh, thank you, lady. I'll go look.
If you don't find him there, come back and I'll help you, Jerry.
Thanks, Marshal.
Oh, and, Jerry,
Yes, sir.
if you do find him, be sure and tell him that I want to see him before he leaves, huh?
I'll tell him, Marshal.
Ah, that's a surprise.
Yeah. I've heard about Ben Pritchard. How he hates doctors.
His wife's just as bad.
I remember he got cut up in a knife fight here in town sometime back and then threatened to kill Doc if he got anywhere near him.
He almost bled to death as a result. You know, there's something wrong about this, Kitty. I think I'll ride out there with Doc.
Good. I'd sure hate to see anything happen to Doc.
Yeah, so would everybody. Except Pitcher.
How do you like riding in a buggy, Matt? Make you feel important?
Yeah, it sure does, Doc. But the way you drive, I'd feel a lot safer on a horse.
Well, you'll get used to it.
Well, I hope not.
Whoa there. Whoa. And I don't see anybody around.
Well, you expect a sick man to be waiting on the porch for you?
And I'd expect most anything of Ben Pitcher.
Well, a man can change, Doc.
Oh, change. Not him. Not Pitcher.
We'll soon find out.
What are you doing here, Marshal?
I came along to keep Doc company, Miss Pitcher.
Oh,
Ma'am?
where's the boy?
Jerry said to tell you you'd be along directly.
Why didn't he come with you?
Well, he said that you gave him a list of stuff to buy while he was in town.
Oh, forgot.
We're wasting time. Where's Ben, Mrs. Pitcher?
He's out back
He's out back?
in the barn.
What's he doing in the barn?
You ask him, Doc. I don't interfere in my husband's way of doing things.
Is he sick or isn't he?
He's in the barn. You go see him. I got work to do.
That woman could fair drive me crazy, man.
Maybe that's what happened to Pitcher, Doc.
Between the two of them, it's a wonder the boys meet out at all.
Yeah, Jerry seems okay.
If they have their way, they'll make a spook out of them yet.
You know, you're not very charitable, Doc.
Oh, charitable. You don't fool me, Mad Dillon. You know to like them any better than I do.
I always try to look for the good side in people, Doc.
Oh, sure, hogwash. Well, pretty good barn he's got here.
Yeah. Look, I'll go in first, huh?
What's that?
Or you follow me. Pitcher. Hey, Pitcher.
I'm back here.
Come on, Doc.
Over here in this stall. I thought it was Doc.
He's here, Pitcher.
What are you doing in there with that cow? I thought you were sick.
It ain't me that's sick.
Well, who is sick?
My cow.
What?
The cow's got the colic or something. I've done everything I can for her.
You mean you had me come all this way out here, to doctor a cow?
I wouldn't let you doctor no human.
I thought there was something wrong about all this. Yes.
Cows different. I don't mind so much you working on a cow.
Oh, you don't?
No, cows are different. Humans can get well by themselves, but cows is helpless. They're kind of pitiful. Listen to her. She's hurting bad, Doc.
I ought to kick you right in the head, Ben Pitcher.
Don't take it out on me that you doctors don't know nothing. If you're so smart, do something for my cow. Before she dies, Doc.
Oh, all right. I'll look at it. But you sure don't deserve it, Ben.
You ain't doing it for me.
You bet I'm not. Now get out of the way and let me in there.
Take your time, Doc. I'm in no hurry.
What's he doing in there all this time, Marshal?
Leave him be, Ben. He'll let us know if he wants any help.
How's my cow, Doc? Oh, I guess he's through.
Here's your knife, Ben.
Did you stick her with it?
I did, and she's going to feel a lot better. You can give her all the water she wants, but don't let her eat anything for a day or two.
She gonna live?
I don't know, Ben.
If she dies, I ain't gonna pay you.
I wouldn't take any money from you anyway.
What's wrong with my money?
It's not your money. It's you.
What do you mean?
Hey, Pa, I'm back. I got all the stuff Ma wanted.
You'd better have.
Oh, Doc, Marshal.
Jerry?
Say, Doc, you missed all the excitement.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, it happened just after you left. Everybody was running around looking for you.
What happened, Jerry?
Old Mrs. Hill, she was walking down the street, and I guess the sun was too much for her or something. Anyway, she fainted, and she fell against the window right there at the general store, and it cut her arm real bad. Nobody could get it stopped bleeding.
They couldn't.
That's why they were looking for you, Doc. I told them you'd come out here, but they wouldn't believe
Well,
me.
what happened to Mrs. Hill, Jerry?
She died, Doc.
Huh?
Just before I left.
She died. Did you hear that, Pitcher? A woman died. If I'd been there, I could have saved her, but she died.
Don't talk at me.
She died because of you and your rotten, twisted ways.
None of you doctors is any good. You couldn't have done nothing.
Oh, no good. Well, I'll show you.
No, wait a minute, Doc.
Here now.
I'll show you.
Nobody hits me.
But Pa's got a knife.
No, Pitcher, put it down.
Oh, he cut him.
Pitcher!
Here, Doc. I got you.
He ripped me with that knife, Matt.
Yeah. You hurt bad?
Well, it's bleeding. I can see that. You can help me in the house. Now, we can look at it there.
Yeah, sure, Doc.
What about Pa?
You let me know when he comes to. I'll come back and knock him out again. Well, it's pretty clean now, Doc.
Gee, well, that looks better.
Yeah, but it's still bleeding now.
I don't care for that mess you're making on that bed, Marshal.
Go get me another pan of hot water.
You ordering me around my own house?
You do it!
Matt.
All right.
Yeah, Doc.
I'm not sure, but I don't think that knife ruptured anything.
Oh, that's good.
But a couple of those veins have to be tied off, and then it's got to be sewed up, you see.
Oh?
There are needles and thread in my bag. Now, I'd do it myself, but I can't reach it easy enough.
What? You mean you want me to do it?
Yeah. I'll tell you how, Matt.
Well, you think I can?
Oh, it's easy. Especially for a gunfighter.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I can bleed to death this way.
I won't have any trouble, Doc. Here, you hold the cloth on it, huh?
I got it.
I'll go get your bag.
Marshal,
Get out of here, Pitcher.
you hit me awful hard.
Did I?
He jumped me first. You saw him. I was protecting myself.
Pitcher, if Doc doesn't come out of this all right, I'm going to quit being a marshal, and I'm going to come after you as a plain man looking for revenge.
You're threatening me.
It's wrong of me, but I'm going to kill you, Pitcher.
No.
Get out of here. And stay out of this house. Go on.
I'm going. I'm going.
It wasn't easy, and I felt like I had fence posts for fingers. But I finally got Doc sewed up. He'd lost an awful lot of blood, and he passed out before I finished. So all I could do was sit there and watch him. And maybe that was the hardest part. In the morning, however, he seemed better, and he insisted that I take him into Dodge. So I made him a bed in Pitcher's wagon and had Jerry drive the buggy alongside. He was in bad shape by the time we reached town, but I got him into his own bed and then sent for Kitty to help me out. I don't know what I'd have done without her for that next week.
Matt,
Yeah, Kitty, I'm coming.
you know what he wants now?
Oh, what?
He's tired of drinking plain water. He says if we don't start cutting it with some good corn, he won't drink any more.
Well, then let him go thirsty. He won't hold out long.
No public servant's gonna tell me what's good for him. You send that lawman down for some whiskey.
Doc, now we've gone to a lot of trouble to keep you alive.
We sure have.
Oh, don't you worry about me. I'd get out of bed right now. I like being waited on.
Now, who's that?
Oh, that's a dumb question. Who's that? How do I know? Go look.
Doc, I never thought anything could make you any ornerier than you've always been, but getting stabbed, did it?
Oh, never mind the gab. Just answer the door.
Well, come on in.
Oh, what manners.
Come on in, I said.
Oh, good heavens.
Well, go ahead, Doc. Fire me.
Doc? Doc.
In here.
Oh, well, it's Jerry. Yeah, come on in, son.
Oh, Doc, Marshal,
Now, what are you doing in town, Jerry?
I come for Doc.
What?
Paul's sick. He's about to die, he's so sick.
Oh, now look,
It's
Jerry.
the truth, Marshal. Paul made me lie last time, but he don't even know I'm here now.
He doesn't know you're here. Huh?
He's too sick, Doc. It's like he's out of his head. He don't know nothing.
What about your ma? Does she know you're here?
I didn't tell her. She'd have stopped me. Doc?
Jerry, your pa tried to kill Doc the last time, and he's still in bed. Now, he can't go anyplace.
Please, Doc.
Why should he risk his life for your pa?
Wait a minute, Matt. Now, just wait a minute here. I'll come, Jerry.
Now, don't be silly.
I'm a doctor, Matt. A man's dying. Doesn't matter what man.
I knew you'd come. I knew you
You're
would.
crazy, Doc. You'll open that cut riding out there. Besides, you're not strong enough.
You'd be taking an awful chance, Doc.
Jerry,
What?
how'd you come to town?
I figured you'd need it, so I brought the wagon.
I thought so. Well, you gonna help me out, Matt?
All right. I'll help you out, Doc.
I've got L&M.
I've got L&M.
I've got L&M.
And L&M's got everything.
Best filter. Notice the color of the miracle tip. It's white, pure white, to give you the purest and best filter.
Best flavor. You get a rich, good-tasting, fully satisfying smoke. And that's what every smoker wants.
Best tobaccos, highest quality tobaccos, low nicotine tobaccos, L&M tobaccos.
Light and mild.
Today, buy L&M. It's sweeping the country because it's America's best filter tip cigarette. Be sure you have plenty of L&Ms on hand for this big holiday weekend. Yes, today, why don't you get a carton of L&Ms? Because L&M's got everything.
This is it, L&M filters. L&M's got everything. It's the best.
wish you'd let me carry you, Doc.
No. I'll make it.
He's awful weak, ain't he?
Yeah, he is.
Here, I'll get the door. Come on in. Ma's probably in the bedroom. It's over this way.
We know where it is, Jerry.
Oh, I forgot.
That you, Jerry?
It's me, Ma.
Where you been? Doc, what are you doing here?
Jerry came after me, Mrs. Pitcher.
We don't want no doctors.
Your husband's sick?
He's terrible sick. But you can't do him no good.
Yeah, I can try.
Jerry, I'm gonna whoop you.
No, Miss Pitcher. No, you're not.
Don't you tell me what I'm gonna do, Marshal.
Look at Doc, Miss Pitcher. You can tell he shouldn't be here at all, but he came. He came to help a man who tried to kill him. And nobody's going to stop him. Now, come on, Doc. Get out of the way, Miss Pitcher. Wait a minute, I'll get you a chair, Doc.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you very much.
Now, here you are.
He looks pretty sick.
Marshal! Go on me, Jerry!
Now what?
She's got a gun, Marshal!
Let go of me, I said.
I got her, Jerry.
I'll kill you. You and Doc both.
Give me that.
No!
There. Now you sit down. Go on. Jerry, you go see if Doc needs any help, huh?
Okay, Marshal.
You know, Miss Pitcher, you don't deserve Doc being here. You don't deserve it at all.
Marshal,
Yeah, what?
I've been thinking. All night I've been sitting here thinking.
No?
I don't want my husband to die. I can't have him die.
Doc's doing everything he can for him, Miss Pitcher.
Can he save him? You think he can save him?
I don't know.
Mrs. Pitcher?
How is he, Doc?
Well, he's past the worst. I think he'll be
Can I see him? Can he talk?
Yes, but not for long. He needs a lot of rest now.
Well, speaking of rest, Doc, you look like you could use some, too.
Yeah, we're going back to Dodge, man. I'll sleep the whole way.
Good.
Doc, he wants to talk to you.
What is it, Pitcher?
Ma says you was here all night.
I was, yes.
She says you saved my life.
Well, maybe I helped her.
Maybe. But what I want to say is that I ain't gonna pay you.
I didn't ask you to, Pitcher.
Pitcher, Doc saved your life.
Maybe he did. But I ain't gonna pay him.
It doesn't matter, but why not?
'Cause my cow died.
No, Pitcher, I'm gonna...
Matt. Don't bother. Come on, let's go.
Okay, Doc.
Doc,
Yes?
he means what he says, Doc. I can't change him.
It's all right.
I can't change him, but there's something I gotta say.
Yes?
I'm proud to have you in my house, Doc. I'm real proud. I can't say no more.
Well, Doc?
I've been paid, Matt. I think I've been paid pretty good.
And now our star, William Conrad.
Thank you, George. Mild and plenty quick on the draw. That's L&M for you. And the pure white miracle tip on the business end of every L&M filters out everything but the taste of the world's finest tobaccos. All you have to do is pick up a carton of L&Ms and you'll see what I mean. L&M stands out from all the rest.
Gunsmoke, produced and directed by Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Our story was specially written for Gunsmoke by John Meston, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Sound patterns by Tom Hanley and Bill James. Featured in the cast were John Daner, Vivi Janis, and Sam Edwards. Harley Bear is Chester, Howard McNear is Doc, and Georgia Ellis is Kitty. You'll also enjoy Chesterfield's great radio shows. Perry Como sings all the top tunes on CBS Radio every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Jack Webb stars in Dragnet on Tuesday nights. Check your local listings. Listen to Gunsmoke again next week, transcribed for L&M Filters.
You know, listening to Doc get angry and then Matt have to sew Doc up makes you wonder what it was like in 1952, 3, 4, 5, 6 during the 9-year run of Gunsmoke to have sat in a living room at night with the lights out and just the glow of the radio, letting your imagination run wild.
Gunsmoke, brought to you by L&M Filters. This is it. L&M is best, stands out from all the rest. Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad, the transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America, and the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man, Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful and a little lonely.
Well, hello, Chester.
Well, Miss Kitty,
What are you doing in here this time of day?
I found me $1, Miss Kitty, and I thought I'd run it up at Faro this afternoon so's I'd have some real money to gamble with tonight.
Oh, now that's what I call thinking ahead.
Well, man, got to take a chance once in a while, else he won't never amount to nothing.
Well, you got your mind made up. I won't argue with you.
Would you come stand by me? Maybe give me a little luck?
Sure. I got a feeling it won't take long.
Oh, Jack Davis is the only man playing there. We'll have plenty of room.
It isn't room you need, Chester.
Hey, who's that dealer? I never seen him before.
New man, Lonnie Pike.
I don't like his looks.
You never mind him. You watch the cards.
Get your hand off them chips, Pike.
You lost, didn't you?
I had them on the 7. You moved them.
I did not.
More trouble.
I told you to get your hand off them. I'm warning you, Pike.
Here now, you fellas can settle this without no fight.
You stay out of it, mister. I'm taking these chips, Davis.
Oh, no, you ain't.
And you better come up with a gun in your other hand. Now draw, Davis.
You ain't gonna shoot me.
Get that knife out of my hand. Get it out.
Quit fumbling for your gun.
I quit. I quit. Look.
Pull that knife out of there, Davis. Go on, pull it.
There, that'll learn them.
Hand. You've torn up my hand.
If you go for your gun again, I'll tear up more than your hand, Pike. I mean it. I'll open up your throat.
Hold it, Davis.
What are you busting in for, Marshal?
Shoot him, Marshal.
Shut up.
Shoot
Pike.
him.
You lay that knife on the table, Davis. Go on, do it.
I ain't gonna fight you.
All right, pick it up, Chester.
Yes, sir. Why didn't you shoot him, Marshal? You seen what he done to me.
Now, I'll take your gun, Pike. Where is it?
In my pocket there. I wasn't going to use it. I was only scaring him.
It's a lie.
That's right, Mr. Dillon. Pike went for his gun before Davis pulled that knife.
That's no cause to pin my hand to the table. It's all tore up. It's ruined. And you let him get by with it, Marshal. You won't even shoot him. You'll pay for this, by heaven. I'll get even with you.
You can bleed to death while you're standing here talking, Pike. You better go see Doc before you do anything.
I'll go. But you'll see, Marshal. You and Davis both. You'll see.
This is it, L&M filters.
It stands out from all the rest.
Miracle tip, much more flavor. L&M's got everything. It's the best.
L&M is best. Stands out from all the rest. L&M's got everything.
Everything?
Everything.
Best flavor?
L&M stands out for flavor. The Miracle Tip draws easy. Lets you enjoy all the taste.
Best filter?
L&M stands out for effective filtration. No filter compares with L&M's pure white Miracle Tip for quality or effectiveness.
Best tobaccos?
Highest quality tobaccos. Low nicotine tobaccos. L&M tobaccos. Light and mild. Every way, L&M is best. Stands out from all the rest.
How easy they draw. How mild they are.
L&M is sweeping the country. It's America's best filter tip cigarette.
After Pike left, I got the whole story from Chester and Kitty. And although Davis had acted in self-defense, I didn't care much for knife men. So I ran him out of town on general principles. I'd have run Pike out, too. But the next day, he left on his own accord. And that's the last I heard of him for some time. A month went by, and I forgot about the whole thing. Until the day Chester brought word that an old friend of mine, a gambler called Cam Durbin, had come to town. And he wanted to see me at the Dodge House.
Durbin seemed like a real nice fellow, Mr. Dillon. His wife's nice, too.
His wife?
Wasn't he married when you knew him?
Well, I haven't seen Cam in a long while, Chester. I think he's been over in Wichita all this time.
Yes, sir, he has. That's what it said. They come on the Santa Fe this noon. There they are, sitting in the lobby.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's a pretty girl, isn't she?
Yes, sir, she sure is. Awful pretty.
Oh, here he is, Dillon. Here's Matt Dillon.
Hello, Cam. It's good to see you.
Marshal Dillon, huh?
Yeah, it's not much of a job, but at least I eat regular.
Here, I want you to meet my wife, Tilda.
I'm glad to know you, man.
Oh, it's Tilda, Marshal. How do you do?
Well, Surprised to see me married, Matt?
Well, a man can get married, I guess.
Sure he can. If you left that gun off, maybe some woman would have you.
Yeah, you used to be pretty handy with a gun yourself, Cam.
I had to be.
Yeah.
But that's over, Matt. I've gambled honest ever since my wedding day. It's a promise I made to Tilda.
It was his only fault, Marshal. Outside of being the most jealous man I ever met.
Oh, now, Tilda.
It's true, and you know it.
Tell me, Cam, what are you doing in Dodge?
Oh, I'm going to run a faro table at the Long Branch, Matt. I made a deal by mail with the owner there.
Oh, Sam Noonan?
Yeah. I give him a percentage, but it's my game, and I run it. I don't aim to get rich no more, Matt. Just make an honest living.
Mr. Dillon.
Yeah, what, Chester?
Look who's here.
Oh.
He's seen you.
Yeah.
Marshal, I want to talk to you.
Why don't you come by the office later, Pike? I'm busy right now.
You're busy, huh? Well, I ain't. Nobody'll hire me. I've been all over. Look at that hand. Can't deal with that hand. They say I'm too slow. I'm starving to death, Marshal.
Oh, why don't you look for some other kind of work?
I don't want no other work. Gambling's all I know.
You're a troublemaker, Pike. I don't know why I want you in Dodge anyway.
Troublemaker, huh? Well, I'll make you more trouble you ever thought of if you don't help me.
Get out of here, Pike.
Wait a minute. I don't know what this is all about, but I'll give him a job.
No, Cam.
Well, I can understand why a gambler don't want to give up his trade.
You a dealer, mister?
I own a faro game at the Long Branch. You can deal in my off hours.
You mean it?
I won't stand for cheating. First time, out you go.
Well, I wouldn't cheat nobody, I promise.
Come in tonight. I'll talk to you then.
Sure. Thank you, mister. Be there tonight. It's a good thing for Marshal Dillon there's one decent man in this town.
That was a mistake, Cam.
You don't want him sneaking around waiting to shoot you in the back, do you?
I'd have handled that.
Sure, but it's easier this way. I don't care if he is a slow dealer. He can at least keep the game running.
Pike's no good, Cam. He'll cause you trouble, sure.
Why should he try to hurt me?
Because you're a friend of mine?
You're too suspicious of people.
Maybe.
Well, what could he do to me anyway? I'm clean. I only got one weakness, man.
Oh?
Tilda here.
Cam.
She's sure right about my being jealous.
Well, don't get too close to Lonnie Pike. It isn't only me he doesn't like, Cam. It's everybody. After a week or two passed and nothing happened, I began to think maybe Cam was right about my being too suspicious. For a while, he joked me a lot about it. And then I began to notice a change come over him. Wasn't anything I could put my finger on. But sometimes I'd find him looking at me, and when I'd look back, he'd turn away or start studying his hands. It was like he had something on his mind that he was ashamed of. I wanted to ask him about it, but I figured he'd tell me when he got ready. And he almost did one night at Delmonico's. Doc and I had finished supper and were sitting there talking when Tilda walked up.
Evening, Marshal.
Yeah.
Doc.
Well, hello, Tilda.
Won't you have a chair, Tilda?
Oh, thanks, Marshal.
Oh, where's Cam?
I'm waiting for him. He told me to meet him at 6 o'clock.
Oh.
Well, you can have our table. We're all through.
Oh, I thought maybe you hadn't started yet.
Well, Doc likes to eat early. I guess he's afraid there won't be anything left if he isn't the first in line.
Oh, anything. Oh, now that's a lie, of course, Tilda. I eat early because I get hungry early.
It sounds like a simple enough reason.
Yeah, and also because I like to go to bed early when I can, like tonight. So, if you'll excuse me.
I'll stay with Tilda till Cam shows up, Doc.
Fine, fine. Goodbye, Tilda.
Bye, Doc.
Hello, Pike. Hello.
That's funny.
Oh, what?
Lonnie Pike just stood there, took a look at us, and then left.
Well, Pike doesn't exactly approve of me,
I don't like him, Marshal. I wish Cam had never hired him.
Well, he hasn't caused any trouble so far.
I wouldn't trust him any further than I would a Yankee.
Well, I guess you couldn't put it much stronger than that, could you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Why, I just naturally thought you were from the South, Marshal.
Oh, well, you can't offend me, Tilda. I've lived almost everywhere.
So has Cam, I swear. I get the idea sometimes he couldn't have spent more than a night in any one spot. He's been so many places.
Cam was quite a wanderer before he met you.
Oh, he worries me sometimes, Marshal.
Oh? Why is that?
Oh, I can't tell you now.
What? Oh, hello, Cam.
What are you doing here, Tilda?
What?
I said, what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm waiting for you.
That's so.
Of course it's so. What are you talking about?
You're supposed to be waiting for me at the Alacrane.
Oh, my goodness. I guess I wasn't listening. I just naturally thought you said Delmonico's.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Cam, now that you've found her, why don't you sit on?
I'll be at the Alacrane, Tilda, when you're finished.
Cam? Don't worry, Marshal. I'll explain it to him.
Tilda followed Cam out the door, and I sat there watching him, and feeling pretty helpless about the whole thing. I'd seen jealousy before, and I knew what it could do to a man. But somehow I'd never been mixed up in it personally. And I didn't like it now that I was. But I figured the only thing to do was forget it. And I did. Until the next day. It was along about dusk, and I was riding back to Dodge from a trip I had to make out to the Chatsworth place. At the edge of town, I caught up with two other riders, Kitty and Tilda. So I rode along with them.
I'll bet we've been 20 miles this afternoon, Matt.
Well, it's good for you to get out once in a while, Kitty.
It's good for me, too. If I had my way, I'd never go near a town.
Well, why don't you make Cam buy you a ranch? All that money he's winning every night.
What would Cam do on a ranch? All he knows is cards and guns.
Guns? I didn't think Cam ever wore a gun.
Well, he doesn't anymore, Kitty. I made him stop. But he's awful good with one just the same.
Yeah, he is. I've seen him.
Oh, say, I forgot. I told Ma Riley I'd stop by and say hello today. That's her house there. Why don't you go on ahead with Matt, Tilda?
Well, I think I will, Kitty. I'm kind of tired.
I'll see you later.
Sure, Kitty.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, Kitty.
She's a wonderful girl, Marshal.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the most enthusiastic response I ever heard.
I'm sorry, Tilda. I'm just thinking about yesterday at Delmonico's.
Oh. Cam was upset about something, Marshal. It had nothing to do with you and me.
Is that so?
No. That isn't so. You know it.
Shames you when he acts like that, doesn't it?
Yes, but he doesn't always act like that.
No, of course not. Oh, look, there he is, waiting for you.
And Pike.
Yeah. Oh, Pike's leaving.
Good. Hello, Cam.
How are you, Cam?
We sure had a long ride. Nearly 20 miles, Kitty said.
Kitty said.
Oh, well, she stopped off to see somebody up the street there.
She did, huh?
Why, Cam, you don't think I've been out riding with the marshal, do you?
Why shouldn't I?
Well, we ran into him on the edge of town, that's all. Oh, Cam.
I'll take your horse over to the stable for you, Tilda.
No, you won't. I'll take it.
All right, Cam.
Why don't you ask Kitty if you don't believe us?
She'd lie. She'd have to for her own pride.
Look, Cam. I want to ask you something.
Go ahead.
Who's been working on you? Who's been putting all this in your head?
I got my own eyes.
You sure you aren't using Lonnie Pike's?
Pike. Of course. That's who's been doing it. It's true, isn't it, Cam?
Pike has nothing to do with this.
Now you're lying. You won't admit it, will you? You're too ashamed to admit it.
I don't need anybody to tell me what's plain as day. Matt?
Yeah.
Next time we meet, I'm going to be wearing a gun.
No. No. I won't stand for this.
I didn't start it, Tilda.
No, Pike started it. I'm going Go into my room.
She's right, Cam. I warned you about him.
Out with my wife. I'm going to come looking for you, Matt. I'm going to kill you.
Ah, you're a fool, Cam.
I'll feel less like a fool when you're dead. Where'll you be, Matt?
I'm easy to find.
What are you going to do, Mr. Dillon?
I'm going under the Long Branch, and I'm going to get Pike, and I'm going to make him face it out with Cam. And if he won't talk, I'll twist him till he does.
That's the only way to do it, I guess. Hey, wasn't that Cam's wife just went in there?
What? Oh, I wasn't looking, Chester.
Well, I was, and I know it was her. Now, what would she be doing in the Long Branch?
I don't know. Come on.
Look, she's gone and shot Lonnie Pike.
Give me the gun, Tilda.
Take it, Marshal.
Why did you do this?
I had to.
He ain't dead, Mr. Dillon.
I'll get some help and carry him over to Doc's, Chester.
Yes, sir. Hey, a couple of you men give me a hand here, will you?
I've got to arrest you, Tilda.
Of course. I shot him, didn't I?
Let's go.
It's Cam. He's wearing a gun.
Don't you say a word to him. Let me do the talking.
What happened?
There's nothing to worry about, Cam.
He's taking you to jail.
I said there's nothing to worry about.
Marshal! Why'd you do that? Why'd you hit him?
I need a couple of more men over here. Well, at least you'll have some company now, Tilda.
How's Pike doing, Mr. Dillon?
Doc will let us know when he knows.
And at least he isn't dead.
No, Tilda. Not yet, anyway.
I had to do it, Marshal.
Chester.
Yes, sir.
Go get Cam out of that cell. Bring him in here. Huh?
Yes, sir. Marshal Dillon wants Cam.
They hanged me, Marshal.
No, Tilda, they won't hang you. But you might be in prison a long time.
It's a good thing you hit me, Matt.
Yeah.
I'd have killed you otherwise. I'd never have let you take Tilda to jail.
She shot a man, Cam.
I don't care.
If he dies, she'll go to prison.
Why'd you do it, Tilda? Why?
Don't you know?
You shouldn't have done it. You didn't have to.
I figured I had to.
But why?
Because of you, Cam.
I don't know what you mean.
If you really don't know what I mean, then I shot Lonnie Pike for nothing. Isn't that so, Marshal?
I think I understand, Tilda.
It ain't true about you two, is it? Well, is it?
I guess you'll have to answer that for yourself, Cam.
Pike. It was Pike kept saying all those things. He was after me every minute, now I think of it, every chance he got.
Yeah, Pike's quite a talker.
He told me you were sitting there at Delmonico's. And today, when we saw you riding up Front Street, well, that seemed to prove everything else he'd been saying.
That'd be a poor way to court another man's wife, wouldn't it? Right out in the open like that?
Yeah. Yeah, it would. Of course it would. Now, why didn't I think of that?
Jealousy doesn't allow a man to think, Cam.
He wouldn't have been taking you to dinner or riding out with you like that, now would he? It don't make sense. It don't make no sense at all.
Of course it doesn't.
I'm ashamed, Tilda. I'm an awful fool.
Being ashamed won't hurt you. Providing you remember it next time you start thinking that way.
It's all clear to me now. I promise you, Tilda, it'll never happen again.
Shooting Lonnie Pike was the only way I could bring you to your senses.
You picked a mighty rough way.
I'd rather go to prison than live the way we were, Cam.
Matt, do you have to keep her?
I have to keep her even if Pike doesn't die. But maybe the judge will understand.
Guess I ought to tell you I'm sorry, Matt, about thinking what I did.
There's no need, Cam.
Thank you.
Oh, Matt.
Doc, how is he, Doc? Tell me, is he dead?
No, he isn't dead. And it looks like he isn't going to be.
Oh, Cam.
He's a mighty sick man, though. You shoot pretty straight, Tilda.
Never mind that, Doc. Just go on back and patch him up.
Well, that's going to take a few weeks, man.
I'll get him well as fast as you can. I think Lonnie Pike's going to be leaving Dodge as soon as he can travel.
Gunsmoke, produced and directed by Norman Macdonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Our story was specially written for Gunsmoke by John Meston, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Sound patterns by Tom Hanley and Bill James. Featured in the cast were Vic Perrin, Virginia Gregg, Harry Bartell, and Don Diamond. Parley Bear is Chester, Howard McNear is Doc, and Georgia Ellis is Kitty.
One other element in Gunsmoke we haven't talked about very much, the exciting, wonderful, one-of-a-kind music of Rex Corey, who was one of the great organists of his time. Here's a little bit of the music from the first episode we played that's pretty dramatic and kind of neat. Yes, indeed, it took a lot of talented people to make Gunsmoke work. And that's it for this time around. I'm Dennis Daly. Thanks for joining me on Gunsmoke Theater as we go back into the archives to play more of the episodes of the radio show that changed everything for the better. Gunsmoke, right here on YouTube.